Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Canon. Canon. What's canon and what's not? Who determines what's canon in Dungeons and Dragons and who doesn't? In my humble opinion. Let's go. All right. Huge canon question rate recently, okay? D&D Direct. Man, Wizards of the Coast smashed it out of the park with D&D Direct. I loved every single thing in that in D&D Direct except the Baldur's Gate video game. I don't care about video games, right? Basically, I think there's two video games I care a little about, but I do not care about Dungeons and Dragons video games. So D&D Direct comes out. Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, okay? Like 5 million people saw that thing, right? And you know what happened? Every Gen Z and every millennial was like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to that starter set. That'll be fun." And you know what happened? Every Gen Xer, right? You know what they said? They said, "Oh, there is Hank the Ranger, and there is Diana the Acrobat." Done. Ain't nobody said, "Oh, I wonder if that." Oh, there's an homage. No, right? There's a human male with blonde hair and olive pants and no armor, wearing like a tunic, carrying an energy bow. Nobody was like, "Oh, I wonder who that is." Everybody who had ever seen the D&D Saturday morning cartoon said, "That is Hank the Ranger." And that over there, that person using a pole to like do a launching leap, that's Diana the Acrobat. It's clear as day. Oh, and look, they're grown up. Nobody had to wonder. Nobody was curious. Everybody who had ever seen the D&D Saturday morning cartoon saw it, right? Now, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle is an official product, okay? It was officially announced. They printed them, and they are coming. They are on their way, and people pre-ordered them. Said, "Hey, here's my money today for a product you cannot put in my hands," right? But pre-orders are a big freaking deal now, right? And you're giving money, and they're getting the float on that money. You know what float is? Look it up, all right? Okay, so this is real, right? Now here's what happened, right? Then a bunch of, in my opinion, people who did not make their insight check actually asked and said, "Are those the D&D the 1980s cartoon characters?" Right? And official Wizards of the Coast sources said, "No, they're not." Even though literally hundreds of thousands of people instantly recognized exactly who they were, right? Okay? All right. Now, what's canon and what's not? Okay, so first of all, let's give Wizards of the Coast its due. Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons. They determine official. And so officially, these are not Hank the Ranger and Diana the Acrobat, right? And by the way, let's just extend this out because Eric the Cavalier and Presto the Magician are going to be miniatures in this box, and we've seen those pictures, right? And everything I just said about Hank the Ranger and Diana the Barbarian and Diana the Acrobat is 100% correct. All right, is 100% the same for those other two characters, Eric the Cavalier and Presto the Magician. Okay, so let's put them all together, right? Now, basically, every D&D person who saw these instantly knew what they were, right? Officially, they're not the D&D Saturday morning cartoon. By canon, in my humble opinion, they 100% are. And here's why. Wizards of the Coast does not determine canon. They determine official product, right? But they do not determine canon, right? The D&D community determines what's canon. And this is really important, right? They get to make their product and they get to sell their product, but they don't control canon. They don't control CANON, right? And the reason why is Dungeons and Dragons is bigger than Wizards of the Coast. They own it now, but TSR used to own it, right? So there were two groups that have owned this, right? And people who were connected to the creation of this and people who are responsible for the success of the game go back before Wizards of the Coast, right? So D&D is bigger than Wizards of the Coast, right? And they also, and this is very important, you might be able to say, oh, well, no, we're not even going to get into that, right? So D&D precedes them, right? Which means that the canon that precedes them, they don't get to scrub that out. The D&D community determines what canon and what is not canon, right? And we have these conversations. right? Strixhaven recently had it, right? Strixhaven's like, hey, magical wizard school, and two young men are going to a magical prom together, right? And the D&D community immediately had the conversation. Is this canon or is this not canon? And you know what? Strixhaven did great. That book is, it's sold and it's on the shelf and you can continue to buy it now. And thousands of Strixhaven games were played, right? And there was no situation where the D&D community was like, oh, these Strixhaven books, nobody's buying these. We're boycotting it. It's, and these are just going to remain on the shelf and remain dusty, right? I got 2 FLGSs in my area. They gone. Actually, I got 3. Strixhaven sold out at all of them, okay? Right? And I went there and bought my Strixhaven book day one and had to wait in line because 2 other people in front of me buy it, right? D&D community determines canon, not Wizards of the Coast, right? And this is very important, right? And here's why, okay? You need to realize your eyeballs matter. Your own senses matter. We live in a dangerous world, and you should not get used to being gaslit. If you see something and you say, that thing is the thing, and then somebody comes up and says, I know the color is the same, I know the shape is the same, I know it's instantly recognizable as the thing you're saying it is, but it's not the thing. Do not get used to ignoring your own senses, and be very careful about D&D commentators out there who are telling you this isn't canon. It's canon. In my humble opinion, it's canon. You're a member of the D&D community. You get to make up your own mind. And Jeremy Crawford can squawk whatever nonsense he wants. He is a corporate employee of a great company, Wizards of the Coast, right? And they're going to trot him out to say whatever they need him to say at the moment. But do not be gaslit. If you see a thing and the thing is clearly the thing, don't think for 1 second that the thing ain't the thing. Keep your opinion pure, right? Base it on your own logic and your own senses, and know that canon rests with you. You want to know why? Go ask them where they bought canon. They didn't, right? They bought the official rights to make a D&D product. I ain't never gonna make, and so they own Dungeons and Dragons. Only they have the right to sell it, right? But they do not have the right, in my humble opinion, to ever say what is and what is not canon, right? They could say, this is what we're officially saying, and the D&D community gets to decide if that is canon or not canon, right? And frankly, we do a very good job of it, right? And so, without a doubt, in my humble opinion, you are looking at canon, the canon ending of the official show. And by the way, somebody actually did an unofficial, non-canon ending to the show. It's not canon, it's not official, right? And one of the ways you could tell that is half the people in the D&D community don't even know that scrub episode even exists, right? And you know why they don't care? Because they know it came through a non-official channel, right? And in addition to that, it is not canon and it is not official. And the D&D community did not embrace that thing. Most people don't even know what happened in that, listen, don't buy Adidasors, right? Like, don't buy Jikes, right? Like, right? Counterfeit's counterfeit, right? And that's my point. Like, so, and when you see something official that gets made, They don't get to flip it and say, oh, this is counterfeit. No, it's Canon. It's Canon, right? D&D community controls Canon. That's my 2 cents. That's my opinion. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful morning.